Hello, beautiful souls. It is a Monday and we are connecting in with the dragons so that we can get the dragons' messages for today. So you are a beautiful soul. You came here for a bigger purpose. You are meant for more. So if that is feeling right for you, if you feel that this is all of you, then keep listening. If you don't feel there's anything in there for you, then keep on scrolling past. Today, as always, I'm reading into what it is that the dragons want to say. So I spend my morning just asking the dragons what's going on in the cosmos, what's going on in our consciousness, the greater consciousness, and just asking what it is that the dragons want to share with us today. And it is a big one, as always, because awakening with the dragons means that we're operating in a different way and we are letting the dragons come in, which means we need to make a lot of space. We need to stretch and we need to expand so that the dragons can come in. Now, if the dragons have already come into you, you will have seen a dragon outside the window. You will have seen maybe a dragon appearing in your dreams. You will be really obsessed and love dragons. That means that they are coming into your life. You, like me, maybe have seen an eye coming in and looking into your world. You maybe hear a really loud voice that kind of says, the question it gave me was, do you want to be doing this in 5 years' time, Fiona? No. And then it asked me again, do you want to be doing this in 3 years' time, Fiona? I'm like, no, and I don't make 5-year plans. Do you want to be doing this in 1 year's time? Fiona's like, oh, no way. And that was when I was guided to go and do a different kind of life and travel the world. And I know it. Sometimes I feel that I have the guidance, I have the power, but I forget it. And I know that this is 100% true for everyone else as well. You feel you have the power, you feel you've got it, you feel you're in the flow, and then poof, it disappears. You forget it, it goes away. And sometimes you can read something back that you've written when you were in the flow, when you're in the power, and you go, wow, that's amazing. Who wrote that? But it's when you're channeling, this is when you were absolutely 100% in the flow. But what the dragons want you to know is you're not using it to its full capacity. You're not asking them, you're not asking or using this full capacity of you to its fullest potential. And that's where the energetics of you come in. That's where your essence comes in. And that's what they mean when they say, you don't know how powerful you are and you are meant for more. Most of us have a large dragon presence. So we can often feel that when we walk into a room, we're either liked or disliked. Sometimes we're just a little bit too much for people. And that is all because that the dragons are in your energy. They're in your soul. They are coming through and you have a mission and you are here to do something particularly much bigger than you think you're here for. So when you're turned on and when you are connected in with your soul, and then when you expand a bit more, you're connected in with the dragons. It's like a light goes on up in the heavens, and you are seen and you are felt and you are understood. And the messages that you are sending out then are so much clearer. And also then the messages that you get back are so much clearer as well. The guidance that you get is so much clearer. So if this is something that you are interested in and you want to know more about the dragons, we have 4 dragon cards today that I will be reading out in a second, all to do with this theme, because you've forgotten who you are, what you can do, the power that you have, and then you remember and you're in it and you get it and you so love it. And you're channeling and you're reading for people and you understand what's going on and you get epiphanies and revelations and then poof, it disappears. So this is the bigger picture for you. Because there is power, the life force energy, that means that you are of that power and therefore you are able to claim that power right back right now. When you are in this power, you will operate differently. As you well know, you operate differently. And you will be believing in yourself 100%. You'll have that unapologetic confidence in who you are and what you're here for. You'll believe in magic and that you can create anything that you want. Things will start appearing. You'll have evidence that you created something when you're in the flow of this. And the inspirations that you get, the ideas that you get, you'll know that they came from spirit. You'll know that this is the guidance that you are here for. And this is what happens when myself and my clients are in flow. We are able to sort of tap into this and it just keeps expanding. This radiation is just keeps expanding through us and we're able to get more and more information through. And then sometimes we bip out of it and then we can turn it back on again. And it's actually a good idea not to be in the flow of that all the time. So if you're wanting change to happen and nothing's happening, you feel that the rug is being pulled away from under you, this is a message from the dragons to start operating in a different way. There is so much available for you and you are meant for more. What else do the dragons have to say here? Oh yeah, the hardest part. And this is why they've got these cards, which is like, you know, how do I operate from now on? This is awakening with the dragons. How do I operate? How do I get in the flow? How do I step into that new character of me? This is what the dragon cards are all about, the way that they want to show you awaken so that you can claim that power. And the hardest thing is that the human has to be feeling safe to step to one side so that you can let your guidance through. You can let your soul start operating and running the show. You can let the dragons through, which means your bigger purpose is here and now, and you get to run that. So let's dive into the cards. Let's find out what the dragons are talking all about this week when they say you have the power, you can claim the power, and you can let that be all of you from now on. So we're going to do this in a different way this week because the human resists. The human resists the information that comes through. We just fight it. I mean, whenever I've been given guidance, I'm just like, oh, that's never going to work. I fight it. So this is just showing us that, you know, we are human. This is okay. So let's just dive in and see what the messages from the dragons are this week. There are 8 dragons, by the way, in this particular work set, which means that you get to, when you have this pack of cards, you get to meet each of the 8 dragons. So we have Seraphina, we have Raphael, we have Tara, we have Luna Ray, we have Sovereign, and we have Bloom, which everybody loves because she's rebellious and just raucous. Then we have Ceremony, who's all about celebrating, feeling grateful, just, God, isn't this an amazing life to live? And then we are jumping off into Utopia, which means that we are of the world, but not from this world. Loosen my larynx. Okay, so we're going to dive in now. So if you are ready, pick a number between 1 and 4. That means whatever's going on in your life, however you could be operating slightly differently, the dragons want to jump in and show you, do this, change your state. So whatever messages come through in this operation manual, then that is what we're going to be doing. So we're going to be choosing card number 1 now. So if that resonates with you this week, if you, oh yeah, what number 1, then I'm just going to let the card pop out of the pack. And we're going to find out what would be the best way for you to start operating. What is it, the message? Oh, what is it, the message that's in the card that is meant just for you? So, glasses on, let's focus. Ooh, number 5. Your mind is a trap or a glorious creator. Oh my God, isn't that so true? We can talk ourselves out of anything and talk ourselves into anything. So, Seraphina, card number 5, right at the beginning of the journey, she is telling us, come on, let's just get your mind sorted out. She says, in her voice, pay closer attention. Be aware that you have large amounts of information available to you in every single communication. You can sense better on an energetic level with the vibrations and use your frequency of your senses to read the states of others. You can see with your eyes closed. All of this reveals far more than your mind or is yet willing to fathom and accept. I invite you to evolve and change intuitively. The next phase of our life on this planet is to be telepathic, intuitive, and medium. Things are already changing around you. What we've seen of your world is that without the extrasensory perceptions being accessed, your world is slipping and sliding. There is a dark shadow of survival hanging over your heads. Many are accepting mediocrity, and the depressions take over, and people who live like this on the planet. The planet itself is fine. It will always survive. It's you who chose to come and inhabit this planet at this particular time that is lost in your mind, and that is a sickness. When it could be so gloriously different. The mind is a trap or a glorious creator. Your imagination opens you up to so many more possibilities. And as you, the greatest creator, show me what you want to create in your imagination, and I will show you how to get it. Imagination is being at peace with your mind and accessing the parts of your mind, the personality mind, and letting the soul infiltrate your beautiful mind. It's the difference between experiencing night and day. If you are letting go of your overactive mind, happily losing your mind, relaxing and letting go, then you are in fact accessing the greatest potential of the mind of the universe, of source, and reaching into the galaxies, communing across species with those beings that you have never ever imagined that you could create and commune with, i.e. the dragons, who are my spirit guides. Expanding beyond the average 10% of the brain actually is capacity and is evolving into being functioning successfully using your magical mind. It's a great accomplishment, and to be the greatest creator. Your inside world creates your outside world. Thank you so much, Serafina. That is absolutely what I was asking for earlier on today. So that is a great message to be listening to. So if you want to know what to do, get in control of your mind. What do I mean by that? That means that you are tuning in to what it is you want the outcome of. So you have a much better understanding of what it is that you feel, because the dragons are very sensory. So it means that you are radiating and you are expressing yourself as your fullest and greatest potential. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dive into card number 2. Card number two to do with the dragons this week. It's popped out already. Meaning that the hardest part of all is that the human steps out of the way. That is the whole theme today and this whole week. So just pay attention to where the human comes in, like the human agenda, the human's ego, the human, I want to get this, I want to create that, I want him to change, I want her to change. If you could just observe and step out of the whole equation where you are forcing things and trying to make things happen for you, which is really, really hard. I get it, because most of us turn around and say, yeah, but I just want more money. That is the survival state. You're being asked to flow into the most exciting state of all, which is working with the dragons. In other words, you are creating. So we have got ceremony now. Ceremony is card number 2. Ceremony means you are celebrating, you are grateful. Card number 52, letting go of the old program, the survival mind, and the primal responses, and go with a more playful sense of intuitive flow. So letting Serafina ceremony come in. If you happen to fall into obsessive thinking, or what's missing, or what you lack, or the stories and feelings of dread and doubt are running wild, remind yourself it's just a phase and it will look brighter under a different coloured magnifying glass and in the morning of a new day. These feelings and situations often show you exactly what you are clearing away and ready to drop from your old programming. From the lower vibrations of the reptilian brain, only programmed for survival and to keep you safe. Now remember to be grateful for what you are being shown from this very experience you are having, even if it is uncomfortable. You need only ask for help with your current dilemma and be gracious of what is then provided. Open up your channels to intuitively perceive what you are being prepared to completely let go of and release. The mind, the body, and the soul, when reprogrammed and all integrated, will work together beautifully. The mind can be reprogrammed from the old survival paradigm and your particular set of out-of-date educated beliefs, and gradually receive the uplifted flow program. This is possible for everybody to experience, where it may be at first seem safer to stay in the familiar but basic survival state, and then let go of the old ways of thinking and acting from the fight, flight, and freeze. The reptile brain wants to keep you safe, but stuck in this worry and fear. You now get to trust that you are safe and that all of your basic needs will be provided for. Talk about stepping out of the way and letting this new version of you step through. It's really, really powerful. There are many points in the brain that have yet to be discovered, and people so far know absolutely nothing about. Also, that not everybody's brain works the same. Some people have the capacity for a great film screen scene inside of them. Other people are more sensitive to the audio, high or low pitched. They hear it in such a way that they are not able to describe it in words, but they do have a clear sense of understanding and the meaning. So the brains compute and recognize the vibration that comes up as your gut, your sensitivity, your feelings, what comes through your skin, what you're picking up, what you're empathically drawing on, and what you're understanding. Your brain is an amazing tool to be able to decipher all of that, but it does need trained, and it needs to be trained on the outcome that you want to produce. Your beliefs are way more powerful than any spirit, any dragon, anything else that you can possibly imagine. But it's the dragons who are powerfully trying to remind you how your power works. If you can believe something, you can have it. Let's just see what else is coming up at the end of here. Feeling and seeing and using your sensitive nature will be far more reliable than listening to your thoughts. Practice and learn how to sense, how to decipher your own body's language to you. Now, ceremony, we talked about being grateful earlier on, and that has a great vibration, that has a great sense to it. Gratitude changes your state. So you hear that a lot: forgiveness, gratitude, love. But how can we start living in that state, not in a false way, but in fact, God, I am so grateful that I have internet, so grateful that I have electricity, so that I can reach as many people as possible with these dragon messages, so that you get to really understand how to embody this new version of you. And yes, the human is terrified of change. So we need to do this in incremental steps. And this is what we do in the Dragon Portal. And this is what we do with Manifest with the Dragons, which is a business way of understanding how we move through that in a very different way. So we've done 2 cards so far. And as always, I just want to introduce you to the dragon. These dragons came through to me after they'd spoken to me in a very loud voice. These dragons came through to me and were very, very persistent that I make the messages that they gave me in the interviews, which are now being transcribed into a book, that I gave these messages in cards, because this would be the easiest way for them to be understood. So this is what I do every single week, as I am asking and as I am then given the guidance to create this into a weekly Dragon Fest. We come through and we meet all of them. So the purple one, you have the golden one, Utopia. We have Tara, who came to me on the beach and sent a dog crazy on the other side of the beach when she turned up. We have Bloom, who is just so playful and raucous, and she wants you to be playful and unapologetic. Who else have we got? We have Sovereign, who is all about connecting in and understanding your soul is coming all the way through, and how you can tune in and tap into that. Okay, so now we're going to pick card number 3. If you chose a number this week, 1, 2, 3, or 4, we're now reading out card number 3. And that means we're working on the theme. So if you chose number 3, this means that this message is going to be for you. So far, we've had something to do with changing your mindset, that the mind is a great, great, great creator or a terrible wrecking ball. And then the second card was all about the chance to be really grateful, the essence, the feeling, the frequency of that. And it is the hardest thing that a human will have to do, is to change the way they act, the way they think, because we are so ingrained in doing that ever since we were born and educated. So what, the next phase on this planet is all about being intuitive, telepathic, being a medium, psychic. Everybody has the ability. So let's just see what the dragons have to say of how we can make that journey easy for us and not to resist the change quite so much. And this is what came out, Raphael. So we talked about this earlier on in the first card. Single-minded focus makes your mind such a beautiful tool. It's all about the mind today. This is answering the biggest question that I've had just recently for so many of my clients about, okay, well, I understand the concept, but how do we do this? So one of the trainings that I do is actually getting you to really be able to shift and sit and stay in the frequency so that your mind is a great creator and it's not being the wrecking ball. Raphael, card number 17. Single-minded focus makes your mind such a beautiful tool. This is an extraordinary, powerful time for you, Raphael says. Your thoughts will quickly be able to manifest for you with some laser-focused attention. In Manifest with the Dragons, we do the laser-focused attention experience as well, because we turn things over, we look at it in really a lot of detail. Be aware that your mind is taking in information that is still so irrelevant, chaotic, muddled, confused, and that you are thinking far too much. This constant thinking stops you from getting what it is that you say that you want. Your creation will come faster with a mastered mind when it is laser focused on the desire and the feelings. This is talking about focusing on the outcome. Your mind is a beautiful tool and an asset when it is single-mindedly focused, laser focused, and that is your greatest power right now, to practice and trust that this is the best practice for you right now. Single-minded, laser focused over time gets easier and easier as a practice, and it gently stops the over-analyzing, chaotic, over-rational, linear, processing, busy thinking mind. The mind is a beautiful tool to be skillfully mastered. Just like your body giving you constant feedback and direction via your internal instinctive feelings and becoming aware through all of your earthly senses, you will soon have learned to read these easily through the barometer of your body, because you'll pick up the sensations. Think, oh, why am I feeling that? So you decipher the feelings in your body. This valuable intelligence and information gathering is directly responsible for averting many possible disasters in your life. Without focus and direction, the mind jumps all over the place looking for something to latch onto. By giving your mind a single focus, it shows it what specifically to latch onto and what it's looking for. What to recognize will actually start to be relevant. Your focus acts like a filter of how you choose to experience the world around you. If you've ever heard of reticular activation, that's exactly what that is. Reticular activation system. The way you direct your focus consciously is a filter that then allows you a new perspective and experience the way life treats you. And what comes towards you with the power of a laser focused mind, it brings forwards towards you that very feeling of what you have put your intention on. By further focusing and bringing in more of the finer details and amplifying and intensifying your thoughts and feelings. This is when your surroundings fade away and you fail to notice everything else around you except the world you experience through your filter. All the dramas cease to exist when you focus on the feeling and focus on your attention. If you want something to focus on that. Focus on the outcome. If you want to give your mind a job, give it a job. Focus on the outcome. All we keep doing is like inner world, your inner world creates your outer world. So this is what Raphael really wants you to understand. So that is your message this week. That was card number 3. And now we're going to be going on and reading into card number 4. So this week's theme is all about the fact that humans resist. They resist the easy life. We were trying to make things really complicated. Thank you for coming and having a cup of coffee with me on a Monday morning. So humans try and keep things really complicated. Every single time I go in and talk to the dragons, I'm asking them for advice, this, and this. And I can just see I've made it so complicated. I'm overthinking, I'm over planning, I'm overworking. What if I could just let all of that go? What if you could let all of that go and we could just relax into it and focus on the outcome that we really want to experience? Your beliefs are so powerful. If you believe you can't have it, then you can't. If you believe it won't work, then it won't. If you believe that these tablets won't get rid of your headache, it won't. If you believe that this food is rubbish for you, then it will be. If you believe that that man is no good for you, then it won't be. Then what you believe, the story that you tell, is so powerful. Right, so let's click on and let's get on and read card number 4 and why we think that life has to be so complicated, why we think life has to be so something to fight against when it could be so simple. The Dragon's Portal, when you go through the Dragon's Portal, it's all about living with grace and ease, being able to do this with grace and ease. But because of the way we are constructed, my God, these dragons, I love them so much. Every single week, they never cease to amaze me. What were we just talking about? Flip out of resistance. This is Tara. Number 16, Tara. She is a blue-green dragon. She is from the sea. She came to me when I was sitting on the beach one day after doing a reading. And she just started having a chat with me and asking me questions, almost interviewing me, which was really funny. And there was a dog on the other side of the beach just going absolutely flipping crazy. Slipped his lead, came over, a great big bulldog. And he just started rolling all over me and all around the sand. Sand was going everywhere, stones were going everywhere. And Tara was laughing her head off. And the owner came along, so apologetic. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I had scratches on my legs from his claws. And the owner was so apologetic. And I was like, it's okay, it's okay. Because I knew exactly why that dog had reacted the way it had reacted, because I was sitting on the beach talking to Tara. It felt the energy and wanted to come and join in. If only we could flip out of resistance. Now, this is what Tara wants to teach us today. You can now easily recognize that most things pop up that you would normally treat as an emergency or another drama to deal with are merely a slight frustration and an inconvenience to how you wanted things to go. If you wake up in a bad mood or if something changes, you have to flip out of the resistance. Only you can do that. You can't expect someone else to do it for you. You have to learn how to do that. The situation arises as if by magic to tempt you back into your old ways of reacting. Maybe to see if you can dance past this one this week and remain neutral and unaffected. Notice how you feel and see if your mind and body are able to be a lot calmer, installing consciously some different and fresh perspectives. How can you see the humour or the hidden dynamics of the situation for what it really is? It's a message. Are you willing to stay it? An energy that needs to be expressed, released and completed. Maybe now you can understand that you had in fact imagined an exact drama like this happening, and then as if by magic, it's there right in front of your face. Maybe you can see in your mind's eye and imagine that you have out in front of you a gauge that looks like a dial on your car dashboard, a speedometer, that measures the energy and goes from one side, from stress and panic, and goes to the other side, can flip over to the resistance, and where it's peaceful and serene and feels fantastic, and you have the best outcome ever. And in the middle, there is neutral. This is the place where your soul lives, your sweet spot. This is none of my concern. Neutral, you can take your foot off the gas, stop speeding everywhere, and take the vehicle you're driving out of gear and coast along for a while and observe the situations that appear along your path. Behind every situation, there is a hidden dynamic, a deeper meaning that you can continue to feed off and allow that to consume you and create a form in your physical barometer of your body that clearly shows you how well or how not well you are coping. Remembering this energetic state that lands into and onto the body will create an entity of its own and form itself into a persistent symptom, all created from that negative perspective you hold or can simply and easily let it go. When you can readjust your perspective and choose where on the gauge you would rather be. Do you want to stay in stress and panic? Do you want to be in neutral? Or do you want to be in all the joy and the fun and the serenity and the peace? We, Tara says, the Dragon Collective, often see resistance to the energy that rises up that is asking to be completed and cleared, to allow you to be neutral, safe, as this energy emanates from you and is visible to us. Remember what I said earlier on? It's like turning a light on. So like the light goes up to the heavens, you being the conduit of this energy. The resistance has a vibration that surrounds you and therefore attracts more of the similar things to you. Imagine the power available to you here and now to feel your sovereign state, neutral and radiating as the enhanced one in your unapologetic power. When you flip it your way, you will experience that you can stand in the same room with your perpetrator, alongside your devil's advocate and your arch nemesis, and feel unaffected, not a flinch, not a squirm, or any resemblance of anger. Who holds the power for this infinite power? Well, that is the beautiful key, without a doubt, that you hold. You and only you get to flip the switch in any direction you require. Well, all these cards this week, all the messages have been so strongly about getting your mind on board. It's not mindset. It's actually changing your beliefs. It's actually feeling that inside your body that you totally and utterly believe that you're a millionaire. You totally and utterly believe that you are whatever weight you want to be. You are totally and utterly in a relationship that you want to be. You're totally handling everything in your life just as you want to be able to handle it. This is the creative power that you possess. The hardest part of all of this journey of going and operating in 5D is changing yourself. So the mind doesn't want to change. The spirit does want the mind to change and the body to change, and for you to have this glorious experience of you being on this world. The hardest part is that you will resist the changes, and the dragons are guiding you how you can change. So focus on the outcome. Focus on the outcome. Radiate in your neutrality. Flip your switch. Go from stressed to peaceful. These are all the ways that the dragons say it's so much more graceful when you living in the dragon's way, awakening with the dragons, so that you can know how to operate as a human with a soul most definitely engaged, and start working yourself in the energetics of life rather than letting your mind ruin everything for you. My name is Fiona Robertson. I am here every week to read out the dragon cards for you, to help you operate slightly different, to take the messages from the dragons so that you can operate in a different way that is much more beneficial to you than staying in your mind and getting your knickers in a twist.